How to use ManyChat for product launches on Amazon with templates included. Today I have a special guest, Troy Johnston from Seller.Tools. He's the co-founder of Seller.Tools, and today he's here with us to share his knowledge about ManyChat and product launches. And I'm pretty excited for that because I'm also launching a product. It's already, I think, getting unpacked on Amazon. So I'm ready to pick Troy's brain. So Troy, man, could you please introduce yourself to us and tell us about yourself, Seller.Tools.
Absolutely. Yeah. Glad to be here. My name again is Troy Johnston. So I've started selling on Amazon in 2014, which now seems like so long ago. Built, scaled, and sold a brand. Moved on from that to consulting and advising for Amazon brands, and then ended up syncing up with my now business partners to build Seller.Tools and get it in the hands of more and more sellers. And now we really focus on more advanced strategies. It's still an all-in-one suite. But as we'll touch on today, we're really focused on the most important aspects of how to succeed on Amazon, ranking and reviews, and using powerful tools like ManyChat and, of course, Seller.Tools.
Welcome, man. It's good to have you here. And yeah, right. It's Q4 already is here, and some people are launching right now. Like I have a product, which is my 6th product right now, which is getting launched in a bit. And I'm going to use ManyChat as well. And I'm pretty excited for that. So I would like to ask you, man, can you share us some tips about ManyChat and product launches, man? I'd be happy to hear, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, there's so many that are launching right now or looking at relaunching, winning more keywords, getting more reviews, using post-purchase. Just spoke with somebody today actually about how they're trying to take their sort of enterprise level, high volume brand and capture more reviews. And that's the only thing they're using ManyChat for. So it's really just a really effective tool in your toolkit to use based on where you need more of that support. How do you just win on Amazon? And again, ultimately, it usually lends us to ranking and reviews. So really powerful.
Yeah, I agree, man. I use it for launches, for reviews. I integrate it with inserts, and it's been pretty good so far. I like the interface. Not all people maybe are familiar with this who are watching, but we're going to hopefully show them and explain them a little bit more. So yeah, man.
Absolutely. And of course, those free templates, right? It always helps when you get a massive leg up and you've got free flows to work with.
Yeah, we're going to have the templates link in the description. And yeah, it's going to be cool. You can check them, enjoy them. Yeah.
Put them to use, right?
Put them to use, of course. That's important. Cool, man.
Awesome, man. Well, if you're ready, I'd love to start sharing what I've got put together for how to effectively use ManyChat and Seller.Tools for launching on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm excited. Let's see.
Awesome. Let's do it. Yeah. All right. I'm going to pull up and share my screen. And that's really what I'll be touching on is really how to launch on Amazon like the 1%. Again, the 1% is just really who has created that separation in Amazon, is generating ultimately more top line revenue. Of course, we of course want some profitability in there, but the tools that are ManyChat and Seller.Tools helps us to really realize that exponential benefit in those key areas on Amazon. So again, just a quick reinforcement of the intro for me: 7-figure Amazon earner, advisor, and then co-founder at Seller.Tools. If you haven't heard or seen me before. So before we dive in, it's important to note that if you're now getting into ManyChat and Seller.Tools, it's a great time to do so. One of the biggest challenges is that these tools were immensely effective. The results they offered were truly unparalleled, but it was a little bit harder to implement. And now with the native integration, we have an app within ManyChat. It has made all the easier to get started. You're going to see how easy this is. But what's most important, what's a really big takeaway, is that the big challenge is that these advanced strategies used to be kind of left to bigger sellers that had more time, effort, and energy effectively to deploy these strategies. But now it's been made easier with this native integration that has been realized. So would encourage you to take a look at our app. I've actually got it pulled up here so you can see what some of the information you can expect to see. ManyChat, again, has done an excellent job sort of seeing this challenge, hearing Amazon sellers that are saying, hey, we want these advanced strategies. We see the power and potential of using them in our Amazon business, but you've got to make it easier. And they've solved this problem, and it's benefited us at Seller.Tools, users of our platform, to where it's just a click away to install an app. And then it's like filling out a form. It's kind of like the idea of just, if you can draft an email and add a few attachments, you can start using things like verifying orders in distributing single-use promo codes and those types of things.
Yeah, man. I started using ManyChat in early 18, and there were less tools back in the day. And generally, understanding ManyChat probably is not easy. It's like not of the easiest parts of Amazon. But now with different tools that are available, I believe it's getting easier rather than just like learning it from scratch. I mean, which is still good to kind of, kind of go through that and learn, but with tools, it's just kind of easier. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And that's something we try to keep in mind. It's one of the advantages I like to think that we try to take advantage of is that as Amazon sellers ourselves, we are very familiar with what are our hang up points to be able to utilize any strategy, let alone more advanced strategies. And the technical pieces, the things that are now available in the app, again, that's a free app to be able to download, and using free flows, which is usually where you spend so much time to try to build out flows. If we can solve the biggest pieces, somebody can get started in a matter of minutes, where we know, a year ago, it would take you'd measure things in weeks and not hours to be able to get in there, get going, and use these really, really powerful tools.
Nice, man. Let's see what you got. It's pretty exciting, man. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think it's important to cover what we're really focusing on now at Seller.Tools when it comes to launching. And some of this it's sort of the revealed secret now. And it's the effectiveness of things like rebates and being able to offer full purchase buys in an optimized fashion. So we're adding in a keyword to that equation to where once that sale is realized, once we convert that customer for that given keyword, we then see the ranking benefit. And we facilitate all of this in an automated fashion. I'm going to share with you, as we're touching on how quickly this is to set up, taking this proven strategy and then implementing it. And so this is a high level view, kind of a model from which you can break this down of looking at an offer where we facilitate 100% rebate for our product, the purchase in an optimized fashion. Again, search, find, buy has become very popular now. Optimized links are still really great ways to add in a keyword to that sale, and then rebating the customer. And we've become very popular with our gift card options to where a little bit more elevated rebate option, high trust and high authority like Visa gift cards are a great way to give that value to your customer as part of the rebate offer.
Yeah, man, just for those who are listening, maybe they're not aware of what is search, find, buy exactly. Search, find, buy means that the user will go search for a keyword manually on Amazon and then find your product and then buy your product, right? So that's how it goes. And that's automated with ManyChat and with the help of Seller.Tools. Yeah, that's just to emphasize it, yeah, for those who are watching.
Yep, that's a great point. Great point. And so really how this breaks down, why this matters to Amazon, and we refer to A9. A9's the subsidiary of Amazon. It focuses on the ranking algorithm. This is why that strategy, that simple 3-step model, why it's so effective of the offer, of the optimized sale that we realize, and then the rebate, fulfilling on what we've told the customer they're eligible for. We've created an organic optimized buying experience where, again, we may be instructing them through search, find, buy, as you detailed, that it looks like to Amazon, okay, somebody's hopped on Amazon, used a keyword, found your product, and bought it. So that buying intent will serve to rank your product higher for that given keyword. Very intuitive, right? Full price purchase, very important to also see that from an Amazon perspective. Again, the buyer intent perspective. If I'm willing to pay full price, I may be more apt to come back and buy that product again. It just really reinforces my intent and not the need to have a discount or promotion or incentive necessarily to realize that purchase. That conversion ready external traffic is really important too, from a perspective of, are we driving traffic that is ready to buy our product? Now, there's nothing wrong with, and this is the last point, of a customer spending more time on our product detail page, looking at reviews, engaging with our pictures, because Amazon likes that too. They like to see that somebody's willing to invest their time on your detail page, still against that keyword, because it's about buyer intent and buyer interest. And again, some of this is you sort of think that, right? Somebody's spending more time on a specific detail page, let alone Amazon, that's probably there's a higher probability from an Amazon perspective that they're going to realize a sale and generate more revenue. And that's how this plays into the ranking aspects as well.
Nice. And what is page interactions?
So page interactions, this is something, I don't know if I've coined this term or if I got it from somebody else, but it's essentially my way of describing how somebody, a customer or a prospective customer, spends time and interacts with the product detail page. And that's where the
Oh,
page
that's what
comes.
you meant. Where he browses through the pictures, clicks on the reviews. For example, when I use ManyChat, say, to navigate my buyers to the page, actually I kind of tell them like, browse through the page, check out our cool pictures, click around. And I think it's kind of from the perspective that it looks more organic kind of thing. It's like, person enters and not just automatically clicks add to cart, rather he goes around and he, just looks around the page, and that kind of creates, in my opinion, yes, it's not that I can confirm that, it's just like more organic buyer behavior. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're spot on. That is far more beneficial when we're thinking about a system, a technical, the technical side of Amazon that's evaluating the relevancy of your product to what they're deciphering as the buyer intent, which is almost always done through keywords. As Amazon grows to a scale that's almost like the largest commerce platform to ever exist, the keywords can't be understated, the importance of keywords, because that's the bridge. That's the way in which thousands of products, it links your customer or potential customer to your detail page. But that's where it's so fruitful, is then Amazon's then saying, okay, relevant result delivered, relevant result interacted with, relevant result converted, and all of that's really powerful for ranking.
Yeah, man, I also wanted to touch on the conversion rate, the external traffic, just to maybe get the idea through, because once the conversion is higher on Amazon, it also helps you rank, right? So if you make like, say, once you're launching, and usually if you launch and you get like this conversion rate external traffic, then you can have crazy conversion levels, right? And it's gonna quickly push you to page one because, well, you convert, right? You get sales from these people, and they act organically. They are normal buyers, actually. They're real people. It's not bots or something. It's real people who just buy, and that's how we rank. So just on the surface, yes. Okay.
Yep, exactly. Yep. And that's where you really have to, as a seller, put yourself in Amazon shoes, right? If they're seeing all of this, you drive 100 sessions to a listing and 80% of those convert, that's 80% greater likelihood that Amazon's going to generate their fees, their revenue.
Yes.
They want to reward what works, but it's also customer centric at the core, because that just means a relevant results being delivered up and more customers are buying that product because they're seeing and understanding that it's going to deliver on their need. And so it's meant to be that win-win-win where, everybody's making out. You've got the buyer, the seller, and Amazon all happy through these offers and through these conversions.
Cool, man. Yep, I agree.
Yeah. And then the last point, higher quality buyers, the control that ManyChat gives you, it really is unparalleled. The type of control in which you can either limit people you don't want to take advantage of your offers, see your offers all together. Obviously, things like Facebook ads come to mind where you can control the top of funnel, but then also through the ManyChat journey, the engagement, you can filter, segment, tag, limit customers. All of that really plays into the benefit of, at the end of the day, having a higher quality customer take advantage of your offer. So this is where it really, there's really tough to come up with a equivalent comparison. And this is where, when you look at external traffic, even if you run ads through other platforms, and obviously ManyChat, they're about to branch out into Instagram, into WhatsApp, other chat platforms. And ManyChat is continuing to be this gateway, this way in which you can filter however you have that initial touch point with a customer, you can filter those customers in the same way that you engage with them, you communicate with them in ManyChat. And the ultimate outcome is, again, the ability to realize higher quality buyers in your offers, rebate offers or otherwise.
So that means you are, from whatever platform, you generate traffic, right? The buyers that come into the ManyChat, and then by tagging them, by checking them, by running your specific systems, that's right, for your product or for your brand, you're able, from the initial pool of buyers, kind of get to those buyers that are quality buyers for you, right? That you decided that this is the right quality buyer for you, and then they buy from you on Amazon, and hence you have higher quality buyers for your brand, for your products, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So true. I mean, and we have features where we can limit people where we may think they're deal chasers. We may think
Yeah.
they're bad actors. They're trying to take advantage of our offers, and we can really limit those people. And those are the ways in which we make sure we're at least nixing the low quality buyers and then focusing on who's maybe just a new person coming in that is first experience with our brand
Yeah.
and our product. And we want them, we want potential customers to come in the door, but the control allows us to taper whether we want a lot of limitation or really open things up depending on our offer, depending on our audience. Obviously, all of those things are really, the beauty is it's up to you to control that.
Cool, man. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, all of this, again, to that point of all of these controls that you can put in place can be very, very intimidating. And so this is where, as we've touched on, we wanted to tackle the biggest piece of creating a flow that delivers on Amazon specific strategies, whether it's, again, higher quality buyers, whether it is adding in the search, find, buy to realize that optimized sale, whether that's even rebating the customer automatically after we've verified their order. We can then give them a rebate that they are eligible for. And where you're going to find this, and we'll make sure to, of course, to include this in the description, is Seller.Tools, Seller.Tools/rebate. This whole flow, again, I want to share with you how with only about 8 pieces of information, how you can have this ready to rock and roll, delivering on all those things that we've touched on, everything that's important to A9, and reinforcing the ability to rank for your most important keywords and capture more reviews. Really
nice.
powerful.
Looks interesting. Looks interesting, the template. Can you expand it or like
So it's actually an image. When I set it up, maybe we can dive into it a little bit, because I'd love to kind of go through that aspect of it as well, because we can really see. And this is where I know that Seller, especially first time using ManyChat, this looks like a lot, but when you walk through it, you really get a sense that, okay, you start to create buckets of, okay, this is to clarify the offer for the customer. This is to deliver the offer. This is to verify the order. There's segments. And when you sort of break it down from a top down, you start to see what the journey is, and it becomes far more predictable and easy to really understand.
Yeah, it's good to kind of start with the end in mind of the customer's journey, right, as well. So you, like, for example, you want to deliver him the rebate in the kind of fastest and easiest way for them and for you as well as a seller, right? So, and then hence you build your flow. Now, you can do that on your own. Sometimes, as you mentioned, there are free templates for that, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and we know sellers that have taken this and said, okay, this is most of the heavy lifting. Let me kind of chop this up, and maybe I have the ManyChat know-how. I can customize this, but the heavy lifting is really what we wanted to have in, and then it has all of our features, some of which are exclusives of things like we've touched on the blacklist, seemingly, let's say, small things like verifying orders, getting all order relevant data, really huge if you want to build a customer CRM. That's kind of overlooked. But what this does is it checks off each box to make sure that for a rebate automation sequence, as we like to call this, everything is done automatically and then elevated. We have things like, again, pick reward link, as you can see for the name there. It's a way in which customers can pick through 100 different gift card options for their rebate. So they buy a product for $20, you give them a link that has $20 that they can use. They can have a Best Buy gift card. They can have a Target gift card, a Starbucks gift card. It's just a really cool experience to be able to deliver for your customers. We have free resources for that as well. So you have different assets that you can use to make sure the customer knows exactly what they're going to be getting.
Yeah, and maybe for those who are maybe beginners in this or not exactly sure what they're seeing, maybe I'll try to simplify it in terms of, eventually we want the buyer to buy the product on Amazon, and they usually get it as a rebate, as you mentioned. Rebate means that they get it essentially for free, like they buy and they get reimbursed kind of for the order. So they get inside this kind of flow that you're seeing here. It might seem a little bit intimidating, however, it's not really. They go through the flow, and from the ad that promises them something, right? Usually it promises them a rebate, to a point where they actually buy it on Amazon, they are reimbursed with a gift card, and they're satisfied. And we are satisfied, and everybody's happy. If to simplify it, kind of, right?
Yeah. Well, and that, like I said, to your point, and this is the key takeaway, is we knew that this was it can look intimidating, but when we make it free, we know we want to remove everybody's excuses, like our ability to teach it, your ability to use it. When it's a free resource, it's all in, you sort of have the most powerful tool in your hands. What are you going to do with it? And not to be discouraged by it. We all have to learn through implementing at the very least of really trying it out. But we wanted to make sure it was easy. And you're going to see too, how easy it is to set up. I've got a sample product. We're going to get this all configured. And like I said, you're going to see how quick it is to get this live ready.
Nice one. Cool. Let's see.
Yeah. So with this strategy, with rebates, with ManyChat and the use of Seller.Tools, again, what we're really focusing on is the 80-20 of success, the areas of highest impact. And that ultimately, of course, leads us to ranking and reviews. You may have heard or me speak on this before, but I really champion this, especially for new sellers. There can feel like there's a lot of activity, a lot of details, a lot of things going on in Amazon business, and that's true. If your foundation is a quality differentiated product, this is where you want to spend a disproportionate amount of time. You want to check off those first boxes, making sure that you're truly bringing something unique to the market, right? But then you're on Amazon for a reason, and that's to really understand what Amazon rewards and how to leverage the platform. And that undoubtedly leads you here, is ranking through your most important keywords and capturing more reviews. And the digital marketing folks, they'll see this as ranking is traffic because you're organically visible, and reviews is your social proof. It's your conversion readiness, right? Is when somebody sees a listing that has 1,000 reviews versus one that has 8, you are far more apt to go where the social proof is, spend more time, effort, and energy, realize those page interactions, and more likely to convert on that listing that's getting the reviews piece right.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, first is having really unique product. Well, maybe not exactly unique, but for that specific market, that's somewhere given it thought, and you created something hopefully better than the competition, right? Because if you're going to rank and get tons of reviews, even with the ManyChat and say Seller.Tools, and your product is not going to deliver once it's going to be up there on page 1, it's organically not going to stick. So that's a big problem. Also, people sometimes they launch, they're like, get to page 1, and then they quickly fall off. They don't understand. Well, because they don't convert organically. First, you have the conversion from your kind of the launch strategies, right? But then you might find yourself in a position that you don't convert organically. Yeah. So and then you have to rank and get reviews, and then you're in a good place usually.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it's important. It's important to think about both of these together, right? Is that you want the traffic, but you got to be ready to convert it. And that's where it's honestly one of the other easy to overlook benefits of something like ManyChat. Let's say you're focused purely on PPC on Amazon. It's great because you're obviously on channel, you're pay to play. The ranking benefits, we've seen that waver somewhat. It's not been predictable where, okay, we run exact match, we overspend, we realize the ranking benefit. That has been unpredictable. But then also the reviews, the control that you can impose with reviews. Obviously, when you deliver an ad and somebody converts on it, that could be the end of your interaction with that customer, unless you have a product insert that leads to a ManyChat flow. This is where ManyChat is it's really just kind of a notch above, because you have both of these are in play. You can get ranking, you can get reviews with one resource. And that's why it's a great use of your time too. If you're really feeling like, oh, this seems like a lot. Well, it's a lot because it delivers a lot. Where, like I said, PPC always, we have that conversation a lot. We even have PPC tools via Seller.Tools, but ManyChat it just kind of is a notch above in terms of what it can give you.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Been using that. I can also say, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's really effective. And this is where it helps us get results like these, in categories where you literally need thousands of reviews. It is a powerful mechanism. And obviously, when it comes to reviews, you want to be thinking of both the quality and the quantity. Some categories don't need 7,000 reviews, but it's the ability to get there and the tools that help you do that are really the most important. And like I said, ManyChat has been massive for being able to facilitate on both fronts, quality and quantity. And again, you can think about how this can evolve because of the engagement, as I alluded to before. The type of interaction you can have with a customer can lead to longer form reviews. It could be more media rich reviews. This could be where you get video, image reviews with images, because ManyChat in and of itself is very media rich, where you can deliver videos to your customers. You can have a founder video that says, hey, this is me. I started this company because of this reason. We created this product for that. We know customers needed this, and we're so excited and grateful for you to take. Isn't that type of video far more compelling than just words on a screen? I mean, it's a total different interaction that you can facilitate through ManyChat.
Yeah,
So
that's powerful.
often overlooked too. Again, that's something that can be easily kind of missed as a really valuable piece of ManyChat.
Yeah, that's nice, man. Yeah, you definitely can get, I would say, higher quality reviews from ManyChat because you have that touch with the customer there, and you can come up with unlimited amounts of ways to interact well with them. And that's a good point. If you're able to put yourself in front of the camera and just say a few words about your product, explain why you created that, and just wish them a good day and ask for maybe kind of also a video review or at least a picture review, you'll see kind of big pictures rolling in. And that's also important to have the top reviews part of Amazon listing with hopefully with videos and pictures that bumps up conversion rates very well from my experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's not to say you have to move, but this is just as you grow and really understand the potential with ManyChat, that's where your mind can start going. Because I remember we did founder emails back, in 2015, I want to say, back when buyer seller messaging was actually viable. There wasn't 50% opt-out rates and people were actually opening emails. We would say that, that would be the trope, is that you would send a founder email and you would hear, we're a small family business, and that worked. That had a window where it worked. And don't get me wrong, some of us were actually small family run businesses and we're scrapping along. But now that customers aren't getting those emails or opening them, ManyChat's sort of that evolution of that, where you can literally, this is me. You can see me as you could grab your phone and do a founder video, realizing the same objective that we used to do 5 years ago, but it's far more elevated. Like I said, put yourself kind of in the buyer's shoes. If I'm seeing a picture of you and you're selling your product and you're telling me how grateful you are and thanking me for my purchase, that's going to land a lot harder than somebody else who's relying on buyer seller messaging to capture reviews.
Yeah, 100%.
Far more effective at the end of the day. So what's important, I think, to note as well is this big number here of $1 million a month when it comes to rebates. This is about how much we process in rebates per month on Amazon using flows like our rebate flow. So I definitely want to reinforce that the flows that we offer have a lot of best practices, have been refined quite heavily by virtue of running just that many customers, that many offers, that many rebates as a number. And yeah, honestly, this program, we did over 10 million year to date from where we're at now, and we're trending quite heavily there. So none of the testing is happening on behalf of the sellers. You are really getting a refined product to be able to run your rebate ranking and review strategies.
Nice, man. That's a lot of rebates process.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is a lot. Nice. Our team has done an amazing job, so they've been able to help facilitate that. But the beauty of it is many of this. And the crazy part is that many of those associated rebates making up this number have been automated. So it's really the idea of we've been kind of pulling business owners or even team members of businesses and kind of pulling them out to where they can oversee and not be hands dirty implementing themselves. And so it really opens up systematizing and automating some of these high value activities.
Yeah, nice, man. Because if you do it manually, again, from my experience, say you gotta reimburse people and you get a manual check order IDs. Say if it's a small seller, right? If you're like processing 3 rebates a day, still it's a little bit of work because you need to, there's a lot of manual work actually to that. However, if you are, like enterprise level seller, it's going to be very hard checking like maybe, I don't know, hundreds of rebates per day. It's just hard.
Yeah, no. And I think that's important. I mean, this is something, I mean, as sellers ourselves, it's important to do the math, right? And we sort of, I think where we ended up in terms of pricing some of our plan levels is that we wanted to make it as much of a no-brainer as possible for sellers. There are going to be some that are, maybe at their journey, it's going to make more sense to have a VA or a member of their team, but then analyze that. If you're spending $400, $500 a month on a VA, that may look very cost effective for adding that member on your team. But, you take, what we would be 20% of that to automate it. really just doing the math is going to help make sure that you're making the right decision as you move to automation. And hopefully that's the goal. I know, some leaner companies will rely a little bit more heavily on tools. Others will add in more people, but I'm a big believer in automation as much as possible.
Yeah, cool, man.
Awesome. So with that, I think it's great to go ahead and dive into setting up this flow that I have alluded to. So that way you guys can see just how easy it is to get started. Now, just another reminder here, apps.manychat.com/Seller.Tools. That is the free ManyChat app that I referenced before. So you can always take a look at that. What's really cool is that ManyChat has since made an update to where anytime you import any one of our free flows, what I'm going to share with you next and what we'll link to as well, it's going to automatically bring in the ManyChat app. So don't necessarily need to complete this step just so you know where it is, but you're going to see in this process where it automatically adds it. ManyChat was thinking ahead and was like, okay, if you're going to use this tools resource, we're going to add the tool in along the way and make it really easy to get started.
So as I've asked you before, Troy, you like ManyChat is aware of Seller.Tools, like you maybe partnered with them, kind of, right? If you can say so. Hence why it's ManyChat.com/Seller.Tools, like you.
Yeah, and this is their app store. We've been very fortunate to work with them very closely. We've actually won their top developer award, and ManyChat has just been so great to us. I think they have been very receptive to sort of the Amazon seller voice, which I like to think we've really tried to serve in that role to say, hey, this is what sellers are kind of looking for, thinking ahead, strategies they're utilizing. So they have been really great to us as a partner. And then with some of their evolution, they have given us additional beta access. And we're excited about that when it comes to Instagram, WhatsApp, other sort of the evolution of ManyChat. We are going right alongside that and giving advanced Amazon strategies through our platform.
Nice, man.
It's been great. Awesome. So that's where you can find the ManyChat app. Where we're going to go to next is right here on Seller.Tools. And where you're going to want to go is automation, rebate automation. Of course, you can use that link I referred to previously, Seller.Tools/rebate. It's going to take you to the same page. And this page has all kinds of great information and resources that really breaks down the strategy of rebate automation. If I scroll down a little bit more, I'm sure what you're very interested in is getting access to our free ManyChat flows. One important note is that we have global support, and that means in these additional marketplaces, we have free flows that you can get access to, whether you're selling in Canada, Spain, UK, and we also have rebate methods that are appropriate for each one of those marketplaces. So those are translated ManyChat flows with rebate options. If I click on, let's say we click on the UK, it's going to give me the option to have a MasterCard gift card flow. So one of the more popular in-market payment methods you're going to be able to offer for your rebate, or an in-market Amazon gift card. And again, when you click through, as we'll do for the US, you'll see how the flow setup gets you started. But the global support is really helpful, again, if you're selling in multiple marketplaces. We have a number of sellers that are just in those marketplaces or have expanded to them, and we're looking for solutions to be able to support global rebate automation. So let's start with USA. This is where a majority will kick things off for .com. If we go to USA, and we have a few different options here. Now they're really only separated by the rebate type. Let me just zoom in a touch here. We've got the Get Pick Reward Link gift card flow. Pick Reward Link is one of our features where, as I mentioned before, a customer can pick through 100 different retailers and use their rebate total. So again, if they buy a product for $20 and they are eligible for a $20 rebate, they can pick through gift cards, 100 different retailers to apply that total. It's a really cool, great shopping experience. Or you can use a Visa or Amazon gift card flow for your US-based marketplaces. Really cool to be able to really customize this as you would like. So let's go through this for getting the Pick Reward Link gift card flow. Once we click through, it's going to bring me over into my ManyChat account. It's going to confirm what I mentioned previously. Again, it recognizes that our app, the Seller.Tools app, is involved, and the most recent version is going to be added as we bring in this template to our account. And then the flow itself, which we did pick, the Pick Reward Link rebate distribution. So again, ManyChat made this really slick where it just comes right along. You can always refer back to that link. But when we install this template, it's going to be good to go. So we'll click install. It's going to have me confirm my page. So choose which page you'd like to install. I'm going to use my test page here. You're going to pick the appropriate Facebook page that you've added to ManyChat in your ManyChat account. Click install. It's going to just confirm this information again, and then click install now. And then this is what I mentioned for the few pieces of information we need to get this flow really live ready. So again, US rebate automation. We pick the US-based pick reward link gift card flow. We'll scroll down to the settings and give it everything that it needs to be live ready. Now, we have a counter through Seller.Tools where we can limit, as an example, we can limit the number of rebates we offer in a given day. What this first field speaks to, and again, feel free to refer to the right-hand column here. This breaks all of this down. Anytime you're importing any of our flows, we give detailed information as to what you're including. But the API counter name is just the name of our counter. So we can say, let's say our counter is, actually, let me take the sample product I was going to use. And I'm going to pull its ASIN. Hop back over to the template. And I'm just going to use ASIN one counter. That way I know that that counter is linked to this one particular ASIN. But you can name it whatever you would like. It's just the counter name that we're giving that to. Then we have the ASIN itself. So what is our product ASIN? Pretty straightforward there. I want to make sure I'm using that same information for the product I'm going to be giving away. The max daily giveaways. So this is where we say, okay, this counter, which we've named, how many giveaways do we want to realize for this counter? So let's say we want to only give away 3 units a day. Totally fine with that. Optimized link. Now we refer to search, find, buy. Optimized links are similar in terms of realizing an optimized sale, as I like to call it. All that means is that a keyword is involved. A buyer finds our product via a keyword before they purchase. Now, where can we create an optimized link? We actually have a free URL generator, which we refer to here for Seller.Tools /Genny, Genny for URL generator. So if we hop over here, I can come down to my URL generator. I'm going to scroll down towards the bottom of the page because I want to use a 2-step field ASIN. So let's see, for keywords, I'm going to just do my main or master keyword, which is hyaluronic acid serum for my sample product. I'm going to add in my ASIN. I'm going to generate that and then copy it and bring that right back over. And that's been added. So now our optimized link is added, our optimized review link. Now we can use Genny again, but what this link is really for is when we request a review from the customer, this is the link that they're going to click to be directed to our product detail page. So you could use the Amazon.com /RYP for rate your product generalized link, or you can again use an optimized link. It was totally up to you in Genny here. If I scroll back up to the top, really great resource for all of this here, where you can just easily create these links on the fly. You can create a 5-star review link. So full disclosure, this pre-fills the 5-star. So based on your risk tolerance and how comfortable you are with that, keep that in mind. This is totally up to you. We bring that ASIN back over, generate it, copy it, and then I'll bring that back. And just so we can see it, because sometimes this link gets looked over as well. Amazon.com /RYP is another great link to use. It's a generalized link, but either one is an option, of course. And then product name, hyaluronic acid serum. It's the literal name of your product. The review request waiting period. And this is how many days you'd like to wait before requesting a review. It's after your customer receives their rebate. So again, the gift card in this example, or the pick reward link that your customer receives, this is triggered, and it's as long as you'd like to wait after they receive the rebate. And this is where you want to think about your product, your customer, when they're going to get value from your product, and timing this waiting period to see what's most effective. Obviously, this is completely customizable, but you could set that. Let's say we wanted to wait 2 weeks after they receive their rebate. 14 days or 2 weeks is passed. They are then sent this link where we request the review.
Troy, I have a question here in this review request waiting period. I know that now after 24 hours, you can't contact the customer unless you have notify me option enabled. So for those, and maybe you have something to add to that, I'm using ManyChat right now. And in order to contact the clients after 24 hours, I need to ask them permission to contact them after 24 hours. So this is something that Seller.Tools does automatically, this notify me, and then
yeah. So, and I think you're alluding to the one-time notification, which you can utilize if you get the permission to follow up with your customer outside that 24-hour window.
exactly.
What we use, so what is available in this flow is that we actually use ManyChat's native email integration to where once this trigger is met, so
Okay.
14 days passes, we'll then send them an email via ManyChat.
I understand.
What's really great, and this can't be understated, is the way in which we deliver the pick reward link is that we send that value. Again, let's take our $20 example. We send that $20 rebate, that pick reward link, we send that via email as well. So we get this email that we're going to send value, and it becomes all the more powerful because we know if I'm going to send you $20, are you going to give me your best email? Or are you going to give me one that's old, that's everything's going to spam, right? You're going to give me your best email. We're going to take that best email and use it to then follow up with you and engage, whether we engage with you, provide support, essentially support that customer. We're using that reality, that really powerful email to then follow up for a review. And it's what I like to call an open ready email. So if 2 weeks ago they got value from us in that form of a rebate, we have a little bit of a goodwill, a little bit of sort of channel specific reciprocity, to give it a complex name. All that means is I sent you value via email. I'm going to ask for something via email. I mean, it's a much better way than, like I said, relying on buyer seller messaging, sort of these older methods that customers are not reacting to. They're opting out altogether. It's really powerful. And we do that as well with things like SMS, and again, this is where you can get a little bit more advanced, but if you're delivering those links via SMS, it's another great place to follow up for review in that same place, right?
Yeah, that's great.
With that same psychology in mind, I've delivered value here, I'm asking for value here, and this is where your review rates will really start to skyrocket.
True.
Really effective. Cool. And then the last field, this is all that we need to get this flow ready to go. This wallet balance minimum. This refers to the Seller.Tools wallet. You're probably wondering, okay, I've heard about gift cards. This is all automatic. We have a feature in Seller.Tools called the wallet, in which you fund it and then you can automatically send gift cards from it. Whether you do that, you can do it manually, but the flow will actually do it automatically. And that's all it is. You fund it. And then when the request hits in the flow, that eligible customer, where we verified their order, we verified their eligibility, we can then send them a gift card that they're truly eligible for when they've taken advantage of our offer. So what we're saying here is, what is the minimum we want to set that at, where we may be notified if it goes under this amount. So we've got massive sellers, again, those that are helping us hit $1 million a month, that may set this to $5,000, $7,000. If you're just starting, nothing wrong with setting $100, $200 to where you'd be notified if you go under that amount. But now that step's done, we've added everything that this flow needs, these few pieces of information, to really dive in. All of our data, these settings have been updated for my relevant product. Again, I've used Genny, the URL generator, and I've taken my sample product, in this case, my hyaluronic acid serum, and brought it into this flow. And of course, we can view the template right from here. Click through. And here's that same big image that we saw before, but now it's in our account and it's for us to start utilizing. So really effective. And of course, one thing that is important to note, these are definitely more advanced strategies. We built out our knowledge base through Seller.Tools to make sure if you've got questions on the counter, if you've got questions on how to manage your wallet, we've got all of those specific resources as you start working through some of this. But I would love to kind of just go through a high level so you can kind of see what this journey looks like from a customer's perspective. So first things first, the customer comes in. Let's say we delivered a Facebook ad. We've made clear what the offer is, what the customer eligible is for. The Facebook ad has done a good job of that. And then we let the customer know, thank you for your interest in our product. We'll email you 100% rebate gift card for 100% rebate for trying it out. So clarity in the offer, reinforcing that offer. If they're ready, click yes.
Troy, may I please stop you for a second?
Absolutely.
You mentioned the Facebook ad. Maybe for those who haven't still tried it, they're maybe like, wait a minute, how did the Facebook ad come in? So, and I also have the question, who sets up the Facebook ad? Do you help with the Facebook ad for us with Seller.Tools, or is something we have to do separately on our own?
There's two recommendations. You can definitely set them up on your own, but there's two recommendations I would share there. We've actually taken some insights from a ManyChat plus Seller.Tools expert. We have recognized experts that know how to use our flows and functions. He has put together a detailed, I think it's 3 videos of exactly how to run a rebate ad offer. You can find that on our YouTube channel. So I would definitely encourage taking a look at that. So the resources are there. Resources are there for that type of, if you want to learn and implement yourself. And then I would just note as well, for the MCST experts, if you're looking for somebody as a true subject matter expert to help you run those Facebook ads, I would encourage you to look there as well. Just a quick highlight of that, where you could find that on the Seller.Tools site is under automation, ManyChat experts. These are vetted experts that have completed and shown expertise, again, with our functions, with our flows, and can assist with things like Facebook ads. They're very adept to be able to come in and say, hey, if you need traffic, solving that part of the equation, but then also managing some of your ManyChat flows.
Okay, man, thank you for clarifying that. Right, that's cool.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. There are, of course, other options too. Product inserts come up a lot. I was just speaking with a seller about that today, focusing on that strategy, thinking more about post-purchase. But about 80%, I would say because of the effectiveness of rebates, are looking at Facebook ads to their offer and then taking customers through ManyChat. All right.
So they land from the Facebook ad here and then, yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yep, they'll come through the starting step. So this is the first step here. Get that out of the way. They'll come through. First message they'll see on the other side of the ad once they click through is thank you for your interest. Then they'll click I'm ready. Then the counter that we've configured, we'll take a look at the counter. It will check the condition. So since we set 3, it's going to come in and you'll see in a future step how we reduce that number. It just makes sure, okay, we know 3 is how many can come in today based on our counter setup. We tag that customer that they are receiving a rebate for our product, which again, we've already identified the product, remember when we set that up in settings. Then we let the customer know exactly what the offer looks like. Again, assuming they don't already have this tag applied, to where they know they're going to be able to get our pick reward link for 100 gift card options. Don't cancel your order. They're eligible for 1 per household, and then purchase the product as soon as possible. We just essentially don't just want this sitting there, or a counter to be sitting there and more people to be coming in. We want to make sure that they take full advantage of the offer. Then they'll come in, confirm that they are agreeing to the terms of the offer as we've stated. Which email address should we send your gift card link to is really the next step. And this is where we've touched on the power of this email. Where can we send you $20? Again, they're gonna say, well, shoot, I'm probably gonna give the email that I use every single day, and it's a really good one. So we ask for that. We have that captured, confirmed, and we have a little asset here, a little visual element or picture you can see. This gives them an idea of what to expect with Pick Reward Link. Because we're giving them kind of a unique experience, they may be used to PayPal or other methods. This is a little bit more elevated, but they can see, hey, Visa, Walmart, they have all these authority reinforcements. So this is going to be a really cool offer that's going to give them more control. So thanks, customer. We'll send your link to choose your rebate to email. Again, they've provided this at this point, and we'll just have them double confirm. So if they've fat fingered or mistyped, we actually have a double confirm in place to make sure it's good to go. We'll say yes, come through. We'll check the Seller.Tools blacklist. I mentioned that before. Definitely something to take a look at on the other side of this video, but it's essentially just saying, are the right people coming into my offers? Do I want to limit whether it's bad actors or lower quality customers? I can add them to my blacklist, but this step checks the Seller.Tools blacklist before we move forward. And then if they're not in our blacklist, they're approved to purchase. So we can then see, okay, you're approved. Click the button below to get your product. Again, completely customizable. Do you want to add product images here? Do you want to use search, find, buy? Totally customizable as to where your product's ranking for that keyword, how you'd like to function in that customer interaction. But if you remember, we used Genny to create a two-step field ASIN. That link is going to be pushed through here, and that's where that customer is going to be directed when they click that buy now, that two-step field ASIN of our hyaluronic acid serum keyword. So once they click through, give them a minute to purchase, follow up, and ask if they're ready to grab their 100% rebate as a thank you for their purchase. Reinforcing again, you'll be able to choose through 100 different gift card options. So let's say click yes. We're going to clear up a few fields prior to having them verify their order. And this is, of course, another really slick step here because it's done automatically. Let's verify your purchase before we grab your gift card. In order to receive anything else or move any further, they need to give us an eligible order number. And what they do is they'll see how we break this out. It's a 17-digit code. We'll wait for a reply asking them to submit it. If they submit their order number and it is truly eligible, we'll come through, add in a delay. These are just little delays to, again, make it look like an organic experience for that customer where we're looking into their order details, getting their order status information based on the order ID that they provided. We'll see if it's a eligible order and if that status of that order is shipped or pending. Come through, confirm that the ASIN is part of the order. Again, this is more technical things. This is stuff happening in the background. So I want you to see it, but understand that essentially what you're saying is ManyChat Seller.Tools do all the heavy lifting. Like have the customer provide the order ID and then let the tools do the heavy lifting. And that's what's happening here. We're just kind of doing a bunch of work on behalf of everybody involved, right? And so we'll check, is the ASIN purchased? Our ASIN. We want to make sure that that is part of the order. Thanks, customer. We've verified because we've looked at the order status, and the ASIN. Everything checks out. Perfect. And then we'll add to our counter because what we've done is we've verified an order. We've said, okay, we've got 3 orders for the day. Boom. As soon as one's verified, we've gone from 3 to 2. That's how we start using the counter. So that counter addition has been triggered. We'll look at the order status again. Come through here because we also want to get the order information. Come through. We'll check our blacklist against that order details. And again, feel free to refer to these notes here as you start using the feature, but this is behind the scenes. As you start seeing some of these actions, these are behind the scenes steps. Customers not seeing these as they're going through this journey. They're getting the messages. They're not seeing these actions. But we're just doing all the heavy lifting of more order information, check against blacklist, only eligible customers coming through, and making sure nobody else gets to come in and take advantage of your offer. So again, if they're not in the blacklist, everything checks out. Your order has shipped. Can we go ahead and grab your gift card? We'll come through, check the wallet balance that we've set as a minimum. If you remember, we set that at 100. So we'll make sure, let's say our wallet balance is 200, checks out, doesn't meet our minimum, no issues there. We'll then issue a gift card. This is important to reinforce at this point because what we've done is clarified the offer, realized the offer through an optimized sale. We've received the order information. We've verified the order. We've triggered the counter. And we're at the point now where we're about to automatically rebate the customer. So all of those automation steps have been done with no involvement from the seller or a member of their team. So again, as I go through this quickly, it's important to kind of reinforce the automation aspect of this, especially like at this point. We're sending them a gift card only because they're eligible. We'll have the gift card link or code. So again, it's a stored value. It's a literal link. That's why it opens up SMS or sending via text. It's because that link is stored value. That means I can send it anywhere. I can send you a chat message. I can send you an email. It's not like PayPal where we're getting their email and going into PayPal and sending off payments. We are opening up the ways in which we can engage with that customer because we're sitting on a link. We're sitting on stored value to deliver that rebate. So we issue that gift card. Check that tag again of abuse protection tagging in place because what we checked before was if this tag was in place. This applies it to make sure again that somebody who has received a rebate for this product doesn't try to come in and game ManyChat. We've emailed your gift card to your email, so the email that they've provided. They can, of course, reach support if they have any issues at all, and that would be some of the next steps. This is the beauty of, if they're at this step, let me zoom in a touch more, where we've let them know we've emailed them their gift card to the email that they have provided. If they have any issues at all, if they click reach support and then they say, oh man, I've never received it, in 2 clicks, that stored value that I referred to, it's found here in this SD rebate automation gift card link. We just go ahead and share it to them in the flow. We just say, okay, if it's going to be more problem or hassle for you, click 2 buttons, and the customer supported themselves, but you've also got ahead of any issues, right? This is really the elegance of this, of a customer, because of the speed, they're not thinking about the fact that they're doing all the work because they're sorting it out. But that's really the beauty of this in terms of automation. So once this is done, we let them know we sent their rebate via email. What we come down here to, and this is really kind of the last major piece in the flow, let's say, is the waiting of that review request waiting period. We set that to 14. We set that to 7 days, completely customizable. We wait that time in which we said, okay, your rebate is on your way to the email that you've provided. We've set the 14 days in our initial settings configuration. It'll wait and then trigger that email that we send. And as you mentioned, this is not beholden to the 24-hour rule. It's effectively an email, but it is the same email in which we gave them the rebate, where we'll come back to the customer and say, how are you liking your product? We'll personalize it. Customer first name, it looks like you had your product name, so our hyaluronic acid serum, for a while now. How are you liking it? And then share your feedback. And share your feedback would be, again, that optimized review link we touched on. Do we want to use Amazon.com/RYP? Do we want to use the 5-star pre-filled link? Completely customizable, however you would like to use it. But that is, in essence, how we capture ranking and reviews, how we automate a lot of these key activities, and we can get started with a free flow. So that's really the beauty. This is, again, where you can have a lot of fun because it takes so much human error and human delays out of the equation.
Nice, man. Thank you for walking us through all this flow that was created by your team and you probably at some point, right? By all of you. It's fascinating, man. That's pretty interesting. I mean, it's very, for somebody that's looking at that, like a seller right now, he's like, whoa, there's a lot of this there, but like, that's the template you get. So you don't really have to, the place where you do have is the beginning, where we set up the amount of rebates we want, the links, and that's essentially it. So it automatically will pull that data inside this specific flow. So you won't have to build this. And I still do recommend people to kind of understand what ManyChat is about, because it's really fun, as you mentioned. However, you won't have to build such a flow, which is like, honestly, it's not easy to build, right? Maybe it's not super hard, but no, it's not easy, right? But as you mentioned, you take the heavy lifting of the shoulders of sellers, right? If we can say so. And just simplifying the game. But Troy, one more question, which is very popular with sellers, and how Amazon looks at that in terms of TOS and stuff like that. Like, where is this standing? The rebates, like,
no, it's a great question. What I point to is I look at Amazon's own rebate program. It's immensely underutilized. It's not heavily promoted. It's an old school rebate program where you're waiting 30 days, you're showing proof of purchase, it's checks and those types of things. And I know sellers that want to be so careful, they recreate that. They say, you're going to have to wait 30 days. We're going to mail you a check. Like they do a throwback rebate program, and that's totally fine. You can even automate all of that. And a lot of the core features remain the same. We still need proof of purchase. So we need to verify your order. We need to confirm you're eligible. We want to keep out bad actors. We're going to limit, we're going to use our Seller.Tools counter. So a lot of the core features are there, even if you go to the ultra cautious. But I encourage sellers to take a look at that, make sure that you see kind of how Amazon executes it. But what I also like to add to that is really the spirit of how you implement this. Some of these strategies have been a little bit sullied by people who don't really care about the customer. And so they think of incentives, they think of holding things over a customer's head. They are so to the point of just getting to the outcome. They're not worried about the fact that you're engaging with a real customer for the entirety of this process. And so I think that gets us back to the place of some of the things that we were talking about of, how you set up your ManyChat flows. Do you want to personalize them? Do you want them to see who you actually are instead of just saying, hey, do this, if you leave a review, you get this, or you can't take advantage of this until you complete this steps. We would much rather have absolute clarity and shared expectations. That's the biggest thing. A customer knows exactly what they're eligible for, what the offer is, and there's nothing that they are restricted by. And in many ways, like I said, that 2-click option of making sure that they can easily get the rebate, that's twofold. It's not only to just kind of show off, and let the customer support themselves, but it's to say, if that's something they really want, we're not going to add a bunch of objections. They're not going to have to reach our support and then wait a day for support to get to them. And then support doesn't give them a good enough answer. Like, if we can answer those things in 20 and 30 seconds, and again, the customers can support themselves, that's more in line with how Amazon realizes that customer-centric approach. So those are some of the things I share. Obviously, anytime you take a customer outside of Amazon, you can be perceived as taking a chance, because that customer can be yours. Amazon wants their customers and they want you to transact with their customers. But that's a really limited business. It really is. So it really is your risk tolerance, how you treat your customers. I think that's absolutely crucial. And then doing a little bit of research. Again, seeing Amazon's rebate program. Do you want to extend the rebate window? Do you want to do checks? Do you want, technically everything can be done. Where I'm really confident with the solutions that we provide is that it's an awesome experience. I've been through our customers' flows for products I actually want, and it's really cool. It's really cool. I know exactly what I'm getting. I know exactly what I need to do. I feel inclined to leave a review because it's fun and it's quick. I'm not waiting on humans. Somebody's not sitting there trying to verify my orders. It's all done automatically. And that shows up for me. Like, it's not only great to automate it for the seller, but as a buyer, I don't want to wait 30 minutes, an hour, let alone a day or two. When you can do that instantaneously, I'm winning too at the end of the day as a customer.
Yeah, man. Good point. You gotta remember that whoever goes through these flows that you build is a real human being and the customer of Amazon. Or actually, if you take them through a Facebook ad, I mean, that's how I do it. At least at some point, I ask them if they are a customer. Again, that's all risk tolerance kind of thing, right? I mean, how far you wanna go with this, but I really want to provide them with the best experience, and I truly care about them, and they see that. And obviously, with more automation and faster automation, the process is easier for them. So if I do that manually, for example, somebody left an order ID, right? I'm sleeping, right? I'm going to wake up, the time difference, they're going to wait like 6 hours. Maybe, yes, they're still going to be happy, but they might be even happier if it all happens like this. And they see that they got the gift card and everything. And we're happy as sellers. We don't have like any blacklisted buyers. Because again, from my experience, I've gotten in the beginning when I just started, I didn't know how to filter them. They're people, right? But they just cancel orders and stuff like that, which is not too cool. It kind of makes you like, oh, like, where's my money? Like, why they do that and stuff like that. So that's also, from seller's perspective, is solved here, which is a big problem in my opinion. That was there without this, because people just abuse this, unfortunately. But
Right.
man, looks cool. And well, thank you for walking us through that. And man, it's pretty awesome. Do you want to add something?
Absolutely. I think it's important. I know we've covered a lot, and now that there's a lot to dive into, that's not the only free flow that we offer. So I know I'm giving a lot of homework and things for people to be able to implement, but
that's good.
I think this is really finding out where your strategy, where your time is best spent in your business. And again, whether you're just starting with ManyChat or you're really building a solid foundation, each one of these flows, as you see here, and actually if you hop back over to Seller.Tools, and again, under automation, this is where you can find a lot of really great resources, ManyChat flows. Each and every panel that you see here is in and of itself one of our free flows. So we've had a chance today to go through the pick reward link rebate automation, but there are others. BOGOs are really great to be able to offer depending on your product. Running coupon code distribution. So if you're running a seasonal promotion, you just want to distribute single-use promo codes, that's a great option. Email replacement. So again, if you're finding that buyer-seller messaging is immensely ineffective and you're thinking about, okay, I'm going to use a QR code in my product insert, those are really great options. there's just a lot that you can really, gamified giveaways. You're running the risk of doing a giveaway same way everyone else is. How can you have a little bit of fun with it? How can you stand out in the crowd? Gamified giveaways are a really fun way to do that. So each and every one of these are free flows. You just click on the panel. It's going to give you more information. And then when you click through to download, it's going to take you through the same ManyChat template installation process that we went over previously, just getting you all the needed information and ready to go for each one of these flows.
Nice, man. We're going to have the links to Seller.Tools down the description. We're going to have also the links to the videos setting up the Facebook ad that you have with your experts from your channel. We're going to also have the link to your channel in the description for people who want to kind of know more about your program. And yeah, oh, there's something else. Yeah, I see.
Oh yeah, and I just wanted to mention too, because we have a 14-day free trial. So that way you can really try out everything. That includes some of the features that we went over today. You can really just try everything out, because the flows are free. You can really get your hands dirty with some of the functions and yeah, start utilizing it. You really could have rebates. You could start, hey, I mean, if you're aggressive enough, you might be able to get some reviews in there. That might be too aggressive, but you'll start getting things in motion if you get things started with the trial. And then just mentioning another group of ours, our FBA Kings Facebook group, is just another great community of really awesome people, very supportive, sharing a lot of feedback about these types of strategies. We have a lot of experts using ManyChat. So it's another great place to kind of see, hey, where are things going? How are people utilizing some of these tools? And then just ManyChat in general.
Yeah, so we're going to have this link down in the description as well, the group and the link with a free trial. I want to mention that there's going to be an affiliate link. Means that if you ever choose to work with Troy and his people, then you do business with them, then I'm going to get a little commission for that at no extra cost to you. And just the way to support my free content here. Or if you want to use the link, use it. Thank you. If not, then you can just use any link. However, I would appreciate if you do use this one. And yeah, Troy, man, that was really insightful, man. That was really nice to see it all kind of step by step. Thank you for that. I think it's very good for beginners as well who haven't tried it yet. Even for those who are advanced, they might definitely find a lot of cool new stuff here, man.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I think for me, it's whatever level you're at. We find sellers that are already using ManyChat and then realizing, man, this saves me a lot more time. I don't need to. They do that math. They realize, okay, I've got a VA doing this. I'm paying them 4 times as much to do it manually. It's just then they evolve some of it. And then they've got first time sellers that are like, okay, what am I doing differently? What strategies really give me an advantage? So yeah, hopefully you're able to, we're sharing ways in which, depending on what level of business you're at, there is, I'd be hard pressed to find a way ManyChat and Seller.Tools can effectively help you and impact the bottom line.
Awesome, man. Pretty cool, man. Troy, thank you for coming today. Appreciate that a lot. Appreciate your time. It was really insightful, as mentioned. And yeah, I hope to see you again, man, for more videos. And yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Yep. My pleasure. Thank you, man. Appreciate you having me on.